Hello everyone. We are going to look at CSAT paper 2 analysis video. So this year we got around 51 questions from reasoning and quant. So out of quant we got around 33 questions, and in reasoning we got 18 questions. Out of this, there are 22 questions which are easy level, 21 questions which are moderate, there are 8 questions which are difficult. So if you see the overall paper, it is like in 2024 pattern only, okay? And questions from number theory, there are around 22 questions from number theory. I'm including all the properties of numbers also in number theory, okay? Be it even if it is asked in a pattern of reasoning. Suppose if it is asked in data sufficiency also, I'm considering it as a number, it is a question of number theory, okay? If I see number theory, there are overall 22 questions from number theory. Out of this, 8 questions are difficult, 7 questions are moderate, and the 7 questions are easy level, okay? And there are some questions which are very, very easy, okay? If you, they are asking you the factors, and they're also asking you the unit digit, okay? So you can see a lot of questions from number theory which are a little bit simple, okay? They're asking you questions based on prime numbers. At the same time, the question based on prime numbers is also given in the difficult section also. So if you see number theory, so entire quant is dominated by number theory. There are 22 questions from number theory, and the rest of the questions he asked from time and distance. There were 2 questions. One is easy and one is moderate. Time and work also there are 2 questions. Same thing, one is easy and one is moderate. Pure percentage, there was only one question which a pure percentage. The question was like, okay, if you increase a number by 10%, okay, another number must be decreased by how much percent? The question is very huge, but the logic is very, very simple. Okay, if you can understand the concept of percentage, it will be very easy. And there is one question from ratio and proportion. INT, percentage together. And pure ratio and proportion, there is another question. And if you see other topics like average, you got one question from average, and that to the concept of average. He is not asking you the question directly based on the average. Its concept of average is used. And there were no questions from profit loss, and there were no questions from simple interest and compound interest. And there is one question from algebra, okay, and a bit of use with properties of numbers. Okay, is asking you if a number is in between 0 to 1, if x is greater, x square is greater or x cube. Usually you think that it is x cube, but the numbers of which are in between 0 to 1, which are like 1 by 2, 1 by 3, or 0.1, 0.2. If you take 0.4, you get your answer, okay? And if you come to reasoning, there are 18 questions. And these 18 questions, most of the reasoning questions this year was easy, okay? Most of the questions, around 18 questions, around 11 to 12 questions of reasoning were easy, and in the rest of the questions which are a bit moderate, okay? And you see very rarely a difficult question in the reasoning. And reasoning questions like coding and decoding was very easy. There were 3 questions from coding and decoding, okay? They have given the letter coding, they have given letter to number coding, and they have given purely a number coding, okay? Number coding like 7 and 25. It represent, okay, 24, 25. Based on triplets they have given. 7, 24, 25. 7 square plus 24 square is equals to 25 square. Like that they have given, okay? So you can figure that out. Coding and decoding, there are 3 questions. Based on series, there were around 3 questions. Series also most expected questions only. They have given 1.5 series, and one is the series which is based on the difference, and the other one is the series which is based on counting digits. That is a little bit moderate question, but the other 2 series questions were, okay, quite simple questions. And after this, there were the questions from blood relations. These were a little bit tricky, okay, but it is doable. And there are questions from directions. The question, one question from cube. There's one question, two questions from blood relations. There was one question from the cube. And you also have questions from data sufficiency and logical deductions. Okay, there are a few questions from data sufficiency and logical deductions. Apart from this, in the reasoning, he also asks you one question from inequality. A little bit confusing, but it is mostly doable. Okay, one question from mathematical operations. Even if you substitute all the options, you can do this question. So I can consider that mathematical operation question is also simple, because all the options also, if you substitute, you will get it. Okay, so overall I rate this paper as a moderate paper. Okay, if you attempt it carefully, okay, by choosing the easy questions first, and okay, reasoning questions were very much doable, and in number theory also there are few questions which were very direct and the concept based. If you look at time and work, questions appears to be tough, but it is a concept based question. Okay, like this. So the question paper is overall is moderate, and if you have learned the techniques from the past few years, then you can easily clear it out. So out of 51 questions, around 25 to 30 questions, you can easily do it. And overall, if you see reading comprehension also, it is like a moderate level. So I can rate this paper as a moderate level paper. And I'll see few questions which are very, very simple. Okay, if you look at the questions, there was one question like 1 into 3 into 5 and so on up to 999. He's asking you what is the unit digit. Okay, if all of them are odd numbers, if 5 is included in the product, 5 into, even if one even number is also there, then the unit digit is 0. 5 into odd number, then it ends with 5. When 5 is included in the product, there are only two options. Either it will be 0 or else it will be 5. This will be very much doable. And there are one question from the repeated series. The series is given like A, B, C, A, B, B, C, C, C. And again A, B, B, C, C, C. This even if you substitute it from the options, okay, very much it is doable. There is one question, 7 into 343 into 385 1000 2401 into 7 is divided by 35 to the power of n. What is the maximum value of n, he asked. If it is divided by 35, question appears to be difficult, but if you see 35 means it is composed of 5s and 7s. As you can see, there are a lot of 7s. There is 1 7 here, this is 7 cube. If you can understand that this is 49 square, it is 7 to the power of 4, there is 1 7 here. So there are a lot of 7s that you can see. All you need to do is, how many 5s are there, you need to count. There is 1 5 in this, there are 3 5s, because 1000 means 2 cube into 5 cube. So there is 1 5 in this, okay. So 1 5 and 3 5s. Overall you have 4 5s. So you can say n, maximum value of n is 4. So you need to see the minimum of these two, okay. Is number of 5s are less or number of 7s are less. These kind of questions I have given. And there is a sequence based on 0.5 series. It is 24, x, 12, 18, 36, 90. You can clearly see it is 1.5 times, it is 2 times, it is 2.5 times. All you need to do is, this one is 1 time, this is 0.5 times. So it will be 12. So based on series, it will be very simple. And there is a property in number theory. 11 square is 121. Okay, 111 square, 111 square is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So on, he is asking you 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 9, 8, 7, so on up to 2, 1. He even asked this question in the previous years also. This is 9 ones whole square. So this is also, everyone knows it. And there is one question like no, is coded as 210. N is 14, O is 15. 14 into 15 is 210. Okay, and NOT, T is added. 210, T is 20. So into 20. So like that. You can do coding and decoding also, the simple question. And one question from coding and decoding, this very, very much simple, is France. It's coded as 654321. It's a direct coding. F is coded as 6, R is coded as 5, and so on like that. There is one sequence question, again one sequence question, 1, 3, 6, 11, 18, x and so on. This question is also very much doable. If you look at the prime numbers is the difference, and 5, then after 7. You have to be very careful and you have to see here, when you're applying 2, you're starting from 2, you're not starting from 3. So it's a prime number, 2, 3, 5, 7, then after 11, then after 13, you can check it. If you add 11, it will be 29. Again, if you add 13, you're getting 42. So it's very much doable, these kind of questions. And if you know the property that when 9 power n is divisible by 6, it ends with 3 or the remainder is 3. He's asking you something like 9 cube plus 9 power 4 plus so on up to 9 power 100. Divided by 6, what is the remainder? There are 98 3's. Everything is 3 only. So 3 into 98 is perfectly divisible by 6. Therefore, the remainder is simply 0. So like this, there are so many questions which are very simple, rooted in a very basic concept. Okay, if you are clear with the concept, this you must have felt the paper is easy. But those who is not good with the number theory concept, they may feel this question is this paper as a little bit difficult one. But overall, I'll rate this paper as a moderate one. Thank you, everyone.